Hey guys, so I'm back. It's been a little late today, but today's been a long day. But no excuses. We're here, back with another episode of my TED Talk Fields of Growth. Okay, y'all know what it is. Got my 3 topics right here, so let's just go ahead and hop right into it, right? Whoa, topic. Astrology. (2020) in the military. Okay, it's pretty good. Let's just start with 2020 because the 2020 is right on top of my head. Now, I know y'all hear the hood music in the back. Don't mind the hood music because I survived. It's vibe for today. Okay, so we're going to just start with 2020. Going into 2020, I was very optimistic. Honestly, it wasn't a bad year for me, guys. It was not a bad year for me. A lot of lessons, a lot of mistakes and growth. But overall, very, very powerful, very, very great year for me. I lived in Cleveland, Atlanta, and now in California, all in this 1 year. And I was single in a relationship and back single all in this 1 year. I learned so much. I brought in this year in Cleveland. And I always thought like 2020 was going to be like the transformative year, like the best year. Because I mean, it looks really good on paper, right? But overall, it was very crazy for a lot of people. But for me, like I said, 2017 ain't got nothing on 2020 for me, okay? But 2020 was full of lessons, was full of a lot of lessons. Like I said, I was in a relationship. I was single. And like at the top of the year, I thought like, well, wait, actually, no. I wasn't single at the top of the year. I take that back. It's a blur, but it felt like it. It was just a blur. Like, had my own place, now out here with my sister. But I don't even know where to really start, because for me, I know a lot of people went through a lot. Like, we saw so much with politics and the weather, so many deaths from Kobe and Gigi to Chadwick Boseman. Just a lot of things happened in 2020, right? So as a whole, I feel like it shaped us. I mean, the pandemic, we can't forget about the pandemic. How did I not mention the pandemic? I mean, honestly, for me, like I said, it's all the time. Like, I kind of pray for the pandemic, not for people to die or the sickness, but just to slow down. Like, just to slow down and just take time at home and just take time with your family and your loved ones. And I feel like 2020 gave us that. Like, you can sit there and focus on all the bad things that may have happened in your life in 2020, but overall, it taught us that life is so precious and time is so precious, and we need to keep the people close to us close. Like, let them know that you love them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. I told myself getting out of the military that I would actually take this break. Like, I would have a break in 2020. Like, in 2 years, I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to work for 3 months and da-da-da-da-da. And I thought I was going to be able to do that in 2019. But, things happened. And I was like, okay, 1 more year in 2020, October, I'm going to be done. And look, I was done in March. Okay, I went on a vacation for my birthday and never returned to work. So, the pandemic was just a little bit different for me. And I mean, I know it's not the same for everyone. I mean, I don't take that lightly. I mean, people really, really went through it this year as far as COVID deaths, and some close to me, but not too close. And I can only praise God for that. I mean, I did have some people that were lost, not necessarily to COVID and some to COVID, but just lost that year too. And it just really, for me, wanted to hold people close and just know that time and what we think of and what we've been doing and just going and going, God can say, stop. Let's shake things up a bit. And I feel like that's what 2020 was. Like, the world got shaken up. To all the political stuff, from George Floyd to Breonna Taylor to just all those things. And as a Black person, I just feel like it's time for us to come together. You know, like, if we haven't seen it in the past, how coming together gets things done, I feel like 2020 was a great example of that as well, with Biden and Kamala Harris. Not that I'm fans of them, but Black people did that. I will say people of color and people who wanted to change, especially in Georgia, whoop whoop. Like, we flipped some shit. We made some shit happen. And that just shows the power of coming together. And I think that we should just take that and run with it into 2021. Like, don't focus on what you lost or what you don't have, but just see what you do have. Like, I have more time with my daughter than I have ever had, but since the maternity leave I got when she was first born, you know. And it's been challenging, but it's also something that I will never take for granted, because I mean, I never got to just sit at home and just be and just relax, and just, she doesn't understand that now. But I feel like the people who have went through that and as a child and like always on the go, you can appreciate this time now. I know that sometimes it's hard for people to want to sit in the house and you kind of get depressed, but I say that's all about creating a schedule, you know, finding out things that you can do for self-care that you love to do, whether that's working out, cooking, reading, getting into new things, learning new things. Like, this was the time to do that. Like, it was a very special year, a very unique year. Like, I don't think we'll ever in our lifetime get another year like 2020. I went through heartbreak and all that other stuff in 2020, but it made me a stronger person. It made me be on my shit, like, just as a whole. Listening to the voice of God more, just relying on him more, because the government in this world, you never know. So it's just like, if anything I could take away from 2020 was just appreciate the slowdown, appreciate the people that you have close, and learn yourself, dig deep. Like, this is the time to dig deep into yourself. And I feel like I went through those moments a little bit ahead of time. Like, I was going through, like, mentally already there, like, already wanting to slow down, already wanting that break. So when it happened, it was kind of like, wow, God, like, thanks. But at the same time, it was like, whoa, God, like, I gotta get a schedule, because I'm gonna just be sitting on the couch doing nothing. Like, you can get into that rut real fast. So I feel like 2020 just made us have to, as people, get a schedule, our own sense of life, our own sense of purpose, our own sense of day-to-day, whether we, like I said, work, kids, people losing your jobs, getting a side hustle, chasing your dreams, i.e. the Fields of Growth has finally launched. I really should have been doing this back in 2012, okay? But life, the military, just everything, kids, relationships, just next thing you know, 7 years is gone, 8 years is gone, and God kind of just slowed us all down, you know? So I think if you haven't taken this year to, like, figure out what you want to do, then you're a little bit behind on the curve, but it's not too late. We're still in the pandemic, where nothing has changed. So 2021 may just be another smooth ride like 2020. Not that it was smooth, but I'm just saying, like, you got time. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out your passions. Figure out what it is. Because who wants to work for Bob forever? You know, like, who wants to be stuck to a job? And that's where I was. It was just like I had been in the military. I had been, you know, always on the go, always having my life controlled by someone else. And finally, I'm free. I feel the freest I've ever felt. And yeah, so this is just an encouraging message. I know this is not everyone's story. This is not everyone's experience. I know a lot of people really feel like 2020 was the worst year of their life, like the worst. And I can totally understand that, because I went through that 3 years prior. So, but I think for me, I just saw the small silver lining and just being able to slow down and not having somewhere to always go. And even if the money wasn't there, like I talked about in my last couple of videos, that money mentality, it's an energy. So don't stress about what you don't have, because God is going to supply everything. It's going to come. And the less you take time to stress, you allow God to move. You allow God to do it for you. Yeah, I'm really sorry if y'all can hear the music. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I'm trying to lean in and talk closer and talk a little bit louder, just because, you know, there's a little vibe going on. But no excuses. That's what 2020 also taught me. No excuses. You can't keep making excuses. You can't keep saying, oh, tomorrow or this or that, because tomorrow is not promised, ladies and gentlemen. Not promised. And we have all the time right now. So this, the military, it's a whole vibe. I wouldn't change it, my going in, but I would definitely change some of the things that I did while I was in there. I would have saved more. I might have just not complained as much. I mean, I had a terrible work environment. Like, my work environment was a black hole that was designed to suck the life out of you. Okay, like, no joke. Anybody that knows about 81 CPTS knows that I'm not lying. The struggle. But it also made me a stronger person. It taught me a lot. I met a lot of people that I still keep in contact with. And it allows me to have this freedom that I have now. So anyone thinking about joining the military right now in the current state that we are in, don't do it. But at the same time, if you feel called, go for it. I mean, who am I? That's just my personal opinion. Just because it's just, right now, I mean, my little sister's actually in the military. So, I mean, like I said, it's totally up to you. But I thought the time that I got in was not too hectic, not too crazy, not too, like, stressful. I was in the Air Force, the best force. And going in, I was like, before the military, like when I heard the word military, it was like, oh no, like they're trying to control you. They don't let you do nothing. Like, you won't have a life. You won't be able to do this or that. And to a certain extent, yes, but I mean, we all have our freedoms. We all are people too. We can do whatever we want, right? So it just taught me discipline and boundaries, and to appreciate freedoms, really, to appreciate the civilian life that a lot of y'all take for granted. Like, a lot of y'all don't understand the sacrifice that like every military person makes, and their families. It's not just them. It's not just the person who puts their hand up. It's their parents, it's their siblings, it's their kids, it's their spouses, their loved ones. Like, they all take a sacrifice as well. So salute and thank you for your service. Thank you to everyone who's still serving our country, everyone who has served our country. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it was very interesting. I mean, to get a little hot, I went through the ringer. Like, me getting out was, like I said, in 2017 was like the worst time of my life, when I was suicidal and just postpartum and just feeling like the world was coming to an end, and I felt like no one in my leadership, or like no one who could really do anything, wanted to do anything. It was just like all the people on my level, like, hey, I got all these ideas, pitching these ideas, and nothing really got done. Just small things. Like, it's really hard because I've wiped a lot of this out of my memory just to move on with my life. But like I said, I personally stayed in the same place. So that was another downer for me. I mean, I chose to at first because it was so close to home, to Atlanta. So I was literally driving home every weekend, every other week, and which was great, but I put a lot of miles in my car, got into accidents, almost lost my life on the highway doing that. It just taught me a lot. I mean, I got in at 21, so I was very young, and I was just got my first car, and I was pushing the road, didn't care, didn't like think that, you know, to take advantage more of my opportunities. Like I said, I would have saved more money. Halfway through my career, I learned that, you know, that's what I should have been doing. Thankfully, I started putting some money away, but I would have done it a lot sooner, and I would have, I guess, made the best of my time there to maybe get to somewhere else. Like, I was going to deploy to Dubai. And so I promised myself I'm going to get out there because, I mean, I want to get out there. I was going to deploy out there. But that was just something I promised myself I would do since I didn't get to go, because I ended up getting pregnant. And can't go over there pregnant. So I just never got really to see anything other than Mississippi and Keesler. And Keesler's a great base. I mean, Keesler as a whole was a great base. Honor Guard, that experience, it made my entire military career worth it. Like, Honor Guard, the time I spent with Sergeant Davidson and the teams and everybody that I met, we had fun. And it also humbled you. Like, every service that we performed, whether it was people there or nobody there, it humbled you because you just saw how much they respected and loved their loved one, and we got to go out there and honor them in such a way and thank them for their service. I remember this one service I did where nobody was there, but literally it was just a box with the person's remains and the person's caregiver at the time, and their family was like out in Hawaii or overseas or something. So it was literally just us, and it brought tears to my eyes because it was like, wow, like, if we wouldn't have been here to honor this person, who would, you know? And so I thank and I salute all my fellow Honor Guard members and everybody across all the branches who get to participate in that. If you're in the military and you wanna, that I would definitely plug the Honor Guard, because it just changes your perspective of why you do it. It humbles you, and it gives you more of a sense of pride to get out there and get up and put the uniform on every day. Like I said, I led a lot of people. My daughter was born on a military base. I went through a lot. And like I said, what I'm able to do in life, I'm able to live now is because of my service in the military and how I got out and how The devil can't stop nothing, okay? I'm going to say that. The devil could try, but he can't stop nothing, and he will try. But God works so much harder, okay? And I would just say that I'm thankful for all of the people who really took time to care about me and inform me and did not get discouraged or take offense to all my questions, or and actually took the time to help me, because I know a lot of people will tell you no, just because they don't want to help you, like, or just because they have so much else going on that they'll know you'll take a no and walk away. Me, Kathy and Wendell didn't raise me like that. There's always a yes, there's always a way, and especially when dealing with the military, you have to be persistent. Be persistent. Don't just take the first answer you get, even if it is the truth. I mean, make sure it's the truth. Yeah, going into the military, like I said, my friend, she kind of plugged me, and her family was military background, and so she was like, yeah, girl, I'm done with school, I'm about to go into the military. And I'm like, what? And then my mom, told her about that. One of her friends at the time, he was, I think, like an ex-Marine, so she kind of pushed me in that direction, and I just felt like, well, if she could do it, I could do it, And basic was not bad. I mean, we were like the best of the best at the time, but my MTI, he was a really, really cool guy. Like, he made us do our best and pushed us to be our best in such a way where we wanted it for ourselves, not for, to prove to whoever. It was like he had a way of speaking to us and had a way of putting it to where it was like he instilled that sense of self-pride in us to make us want to, like, even if we were scrapping in the dorm, like we were, when we got outside that door, we were a unit. We were hot shit, okay? So, and that's just something I kind of try to carry with me. Like, no matter what I'm going through, behind closed doors, I still try to carry myself like hot shit, because it's about how you present, and you never know who's looking at you. You never know when your next opportunity or blessing is around the corner. So you always just want to be on your P's and Q's, and I thank him for that. I thank him for, he's still out there pushing flights, I saw. So shout outs to him. Yeah. So if you are called or you feel like you want to serve your country, do it. Don't listen to me. I mean, the world is yours to go out and get. And this wasn't something that I ever thought that would be a part of my life. But like I said, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change my experience at all. I just would have, like I said, made a couple little smart decisions, but wouldn't we all? So that goes into my last topic, astrology. And this topic, like, this one I love, and it's something that I've always been into, like as a younger kid, and knew I was an Aries and knew I was a fireball. But through my military time and through like my 20s, I should say, like that growing period, I felt like there was something deeper. So just learning more about astrology and looking into my entire birth chart, learning like all of my signs, not just my sun sign and my rising sign, just learning if you know what time you're born, because you do need to know what time you were born to get your full chart, but you can just do your date if that's all you have in your location, that's all you know. You can at least get some of it. And I would encourage anybody and everybody to look into their chart and look into the other parts of you, the other things that make up you, because your sun sign is, how you kind of internalize the world, or how you're I wouldn't say how you're viewed, because how you're viewed is more of your rising sign, Capricorn. But it allows you to, it's like a self-therapy, I should say. It's like the first step for me in self-therapy. Before going, to get your therapist, and before sitting down and talking with someone else, if you look up your birth chart and look up your signs and look up your placements and read, I promise you, it will help you understand yourself. It will help you understand why you think the way you do, or you may think like, oh, I'm not crazy for feeling this way because they don't feel this way. And it's like, no, you're just different. Like, we're all different. And every Aries is not the same. Every Leo is not the same. Every Virgo is not the same. And a lot of people, just stick with that one sign. But we are complex beings connected to the stars, connected to the planets. And astrology is a great way to tap into yourself. And for all of my religious folks out there who was like, I don't know about that. God created all of that. God created the stars, the planets, the astrology. It's here for a reason, okay? So don't look at it as like some negative thing or some witchcraft thing or some... No, it's about you. It's taking time to get to know you. Instead of getting to know all these other people and all these other things in the world, astrology is a good place to tap in to get to know yourself. Like, so, real quick, my big three, I'm an Aries, Leo, Capricorn. So Aries, Sun, Leo, Moon, Capricorn, rising. And I'm a Taurus Venus. So those are like the ones that I kind of focus on to kind of understand me more. So I have a lot of fire and a lot of earth. So I'm very reactive, very hot-headed, but at the same time, I can kind of ground myself and be more headstrong and know that I'll be okay. My baby, she has a lot of water placement, so she's very little emotional. And as for my parents, I would definitely encourage you to look into your child's birth chart when raising them, because that right there alone will like literally take you from basic level parenting to up here parenting, because you will understand your child on a deeper level. You'll understand their needs. You'll understand that how you was raised may not necessarily be the way that they need to be raised. Because my baby, she's a crier. She's an emotional. She's a Cancer. So I have to explain things to her. I have to be more loving and hands-on and more vocal with her. As to me, I'm like, I don't need all that. Like, let me be free. Let me go out into the world. I was always an independent person, not really like affectionate, like, why are you touching me, like, but for her it's the complete opposite. So I feel like if I wouldn't have taken that time and said, okay, I'm doing this for me, but let me do it for her, I probably would have been all the time. Even though it's like hard for me to hit on her little sweet face, but it really had me think more like, no, I can't go off of what I like or what I was used to or what I've been exposed to. I have to adapt to the person that I brought into this world. And they're here to teach you as well. Your kids are here to teach you as well. So learning them, you will learn some things about life and just grow. And I think that astrology is a great place to start. Like I said, on top of therapy or counseling or any type of other guidance that you get, that's great as well. But just some things that you could do at home, right there from your computer, right there from your phone, right there in the moment. Like, why does my baby do this? Or why am I doing this? Or even with your spouses. And I say, don't go looking into other people's birth charts without them knowing, and that's a little too much. But for you and your kids, that is completely fine. And for your spouse, I mean, if y'all want to have that conversation and you guys are okay with that, then that will also take your relationship to another level. Like, just for an example, my baby is a very big mix of me and her dad, from top to bottom, even through the astrology. Like, she has my moon in his rising, and all this other stuff. So it's like I see where our personalities even mix into her, and I have to understand that she likes things that he likes, and she likes things that I like, and then she has her own thing that she likes, you know. And so I think as parents, especially single parents or just people that aren't together, and you're looking at your kid like, why are you acting like that? Why? Like, they can't tell you yet. They're still babies. They're still kids. They're still growing. So if you're wondering like, why are you acting like that, or why are you doing this, or why are you doing that, look into their birth chart. You will probably ding 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 be like, wow. She's expressing like this because she has a Gemini Mars, or she's expressing like this because she has a Virgo moon. Like, and you think like, oh, this is just my kid. Like, I should just be able to mold them. And yes, as parents, we are supposed to mold them in the way they should go. But like I said, it's not a one-way street. It's not a one-way thing. They are here to teach you, and you are here to learn from them, and as well as you teaching them and guiding them. So, yeah. Astrology would be a great place to start. They have a ton of YouTube videos. Novi Brown, I definitely would plug her. Boro the Libra, he's a very good person to listen to as well. I think Finesse Astro is his name on YouTube. And of course, the Hood Healer. I mean, she's got her Sunday services and does her predictions and does her, astrology thing too. But that's more for like if you're an adult, I feel like, and you're looking for some guidance in yourself, and direction in your future, her platform. But like Novi and Boro, they give you the basics, the generals of like just across the board of like the characteristics. So if you're not like a reader, I would definitely, look up some YouTube videos, like, and just listen. And I promise you, it will change your life for the better. You have to be open. You have to be willing and want the knowledge in the first place. But if you are an astrology into that, like I said, don't just know your sun sign. Like, don't just stick with whatever you were born under. Like, oh, I'm a Sagittarius. Like, yeah, you are, but there's way more to you, and don't just box yourself in. And you could definitely take yourself to new heights and new goals and levels once you fully tap into you. So yeah, so and also with dealing with mental illness, anxiety, depression, all of those things, it takes it down a notch, because it goes from you're feeling all of these emotions and you don't know where to put them, to, okay, I can kind of read this, hear this, and understand where and what and why my emotions are the way that they are. So I'm gonna cut this one short. I could definitely continue to talk about it, but it's getting late. I gotta go find my baby. She done made new friends today, and we're just not taking any Mondays off. So catch me later, guys. Thanks.